Tell you what, one of the things people do that enhance their anxiety, their target panic, whatever you want to call it, on a target is training with spots that are too small. And honestly, even though our training bag has those small little dots like that, it's tough when you're aiming at targets where the actual dot that you're aiming at is the exact size or smaller than your pin is, right? And that's why I think it's so important that if you know that you struggle with freezing under the target anticipation, if you're nervous around shooting around your friends, you know, and you go to the practice range of the TAC and your friends are there, try to not find those targets that have such a small dot, because when you do, it is tough. It is tough because your brain is actually wanting to see what you're trying to hit. And when you're covering it, that's when the float starts to happen, because your subconscious is wanting to peek at that a little bit and get that confirmation that that little dot is still back there. So if you can, pick a dot that's slightly bigger. So these different dots are actually all proportioned for different distances. The one that I just shot at is the quadrant for blank bailing or training down in the basement. It's for close shots to where that dot is bigger around than your pin is and you're able to be comfortable floating around. So my recommendation, if you go to an event where you're feeling anxiety, you're feeling like, you know, you just have this anticipation, your trigger finger's a little bit itchy, and you're still working through any type of buck fever or target panic issues you have, when that happens, go to a bigger spot. Like immediately go to a bigger spot. And honestly, if you're at a course, you draw back and you're aiming at that thing and you feel that little demon in your head that says, just freaking punch it, just get after it. Best thing to do is just say, no, I'm gonna cancel that shot and go to a bigger spot. So in this case, if I felt that way a little bit and you're at the practice range, pick the biggest spot on the thing. So instead, I'll just go ahead and shoot for those lower right ones where I'm not worried about the size of the X-ring. And honestly, if you get down there and your arrow's in the center of that, the center of that is actually smaller than the one that I just shot at. The difference is visually, it gives you more comfort because there's more room of error around your sight pin. That's effortless. Pick the spot that makes you comfortable. Don't be afraid to aim big and you will miss small. It's not always aim small, miss small. Not always, especially when you have anxiety, especially when you feel a little bit of urge, a little bit of nervousness around your friends. Pick the targets that are big. And another example would be this: instead of trying for that mule deer all the way down there at 60 yards, go for the bigger target that you have that's 10 yards more but twice the size. Or don't sit there and try to practice at that smaller target at the furthest distance. Go ahead and pick this wolf right here where you've got a nice big white square on it. It's a bigger target, it's closer. You can draw back. And sit there and make shots without feeling that weight of anxiety. Put yourself in a position to where you can aim big, miss small.